Hi, Steph. Janie McCauley from AP. What did you make of all the open looks you got to get on a nice roll early, and just the way they played you defensively?
Bogut and Kavon, Draymond set great screens. Obviously, they had a certain approach, and we just try to be. Well, as the game went on, we got a little bit more patient, just seeing the pictures correctly, and obviously you just got to make shots. So, yeah, it was a nice flow. We were moving the ball too early. Sometimes it's moving it too much and too quick, but for the most part, just trying to create great shots. So whether it's pick and roll or whether it's our normal motion type offense, and it worked out for us tonight.
Ramona Shelburne with ESPN. What's it like for you guys when you're in that flow, when you guys are moving the ball and sharing the ball like you were the last couple of games?
I mean, it's fun. It's when we're at our best in terms of everybody feeling like they're a threat on the floor. I mean, honestly, even when Kay's out there, he's our safety valve in terms of we can end a possession that way, but we try to get to those looks and those patterns, as much as we can. It just puts so much pressure on the defense. You can't key in on one guy, and even if you try to, somebody else is going to be open. And you see, like, the morale, like everybody's shoulders are up, and smiles and just aggressiveness all over the floor, whether it's setting a screen or swing or cutting hard, all that type of stuff. So when you create good shots that way, it's fun for everybody.
Standing up left-hand side here.
Yeah. Hi, Steph. Ryan Leong with Associated Press Radio. How much do you think this game, not it's going to be a trap for Game 2, but how much do you guys have to be cautious of how much Portland may be able to adapt and come out stronger in Game 2?
I mean, it's like that every series when you win, the first game at home. It's what you're supposed to do. We obviously played well tonight. We want to carry that momentum over to Game 2, but we've been in situation plenty of times, and more so than not, I've handled our business in Game 2. Obviously, against the Clippers, we didn't. Had to really work. Even against Houston, we went up 2-0, and then the narrative is, can you win on the road? So it's just game at a time, man. Haven't been through so many of these series. We understand what the drill is, and they're going to make adjustments and probably play really aggressive and assertive in the first half. Game 2, we got to be ready for that punch and keep playing hard.
Standing up left-hand side.
Tim Calcom, The Athletic. Steph, obviously in the last round, kind of knocked down the bench a little bit, then much tighter rotation until Game 6. Game 6, played 11 guys. Tonight, obviously played a ton of guys. Played some different combinations. Does that feel more like yourselves? Do you understand what happens in playoffs? What's the feeling when so many different guys, a Jerebko, a Quinn Cook, get major rotation minutes?
I mean, honestly, that's the beauty of the playoffs. Every series is different. And when you have the capability to, expand the bench and fill minutes with guys that are obviously capable, can help us on the floor on both ends, and you see like the confidence that they play with, regardless of what the situation is, that's contagious for sure. So the Houston series was interesting. It took a certain style and dynamic the first 5 games. Game 6, we obviously had to, with K going out, fill those 40 minutes with, a multitude of guys. But we talk about it a lot in terms of how prepared they, Quinn, Zoe, JB, even Jonas as well. Like, they all put the work in, and they're not afraid of the moment. So when they're out there, they try to make plays and take shots they're supposed to take, and it gives us a huge boost. And tonight was, right up that street for sure.
Second row, right-hand side.
Anthony Slater with The Athletic. Steph, were you just surprised how they guarded you with their bigs tonight?
I mean, we've played against Canada before, and there's certain looks that you can get, but when it comes to just seeing the pictures, whether it's coming off and shooting every time or, giving it up and relocating or trying to get our motion offense going, whatever the situation is, as long as we're just being patient, it's key for us. So first 10 minutes, really, a little, maybe even into the second quarter, we were just moving a little too fast. Obviously, we made a couple shots that kept us afloat, but we settled down, and things really started to open up when we knew what we were trying to go after.
Third row, right-hand side.
Stephanie Crudell, ESPN. Obviously, you got rolling in the second half in Game 6 in Houston. How much do you think was a carryover of that into tonight?
It helped. I mean, you just again, I know what I'm capable of on the floor, and the situation calls for me to be a little bit more aggressive, and hopefully that'll continue. So obviously it's nice to see the ball go in. I didn't shoot the ball well for 4.5 quarters and or 4.5 games, I should say, in last series, and got off to a good start tonight. So wanna maintain that. Every game is different. You got to reestablish yourself, and that's my perspective. No matter how I play.
Standing up here, left-hand side.
Steph, Matt Schneiman, Bay Area News Group. You guys had ruled Damian Jones out, and then he comes in and gives you guys some feel-good minutes. Draymond said he could see him playing more because he gives you guys a lob threat that he doesn't think you have. How'd you feel seeing him get on the court after everything he's been through, and could you see him maybe playing a little bit of a role here this series?
Anything's possible with us in terms of who's out there on the floor, for sure. But for him, knowing that coming into this year, he was kind of slated in that starting spot until DeMarcus got back, and he was learning on the job and playing well and gaining that confidence and experience. And obviously, unfortunate injury that took the rest of the season away up until tonight. And he's been grinding. For like the last 3 or 4 weeks, you've been just seeing him, getting confidence out there, all the drills he's been doing, and it was a nice surprise to see him, get a couple minutes, and it's great for him. So who knows what'll happen down the stretch, but he's obviously capable in the offense that we play and the experience that he gained in those first 2 months.
Third row, middle.
C.J. Peterson, San Francisco Examiner. Steph, you mentioned Kevon's ability to set screens. What did you think of his ability to run the break tonight? You and him, off one of his 3 steals, ended up with a dunk from him, I believe.
I mean, he's a pretty sneaky athletic in terms of open floor and the speed and whatnot. So he's versatile, too. He can do a lot of different things. He can sacrifice his body on screens and block shots, rebound really extremely well. And then when the pace starts to keep up or pick up, he can keep up for sure. So just love the energy that he plays with. And when he knows he's going to be a huge part of what we do, he usually shows up.
2 more, front row center.
Julianne Herrera, ABC 7 News. Can you talk about how fun it was to be on the court with your brother today in the Western Conference Finals? I saw him trying to get back on defense once when you had the ball, and it's really special. You're the only brothers to ever do this.
Yeah, we've been talking about it for the last couple of days about how special it is. Obviously, we've played plenty of games now on the same court, and you understand what that vibe is like. But on this stage, trying to chase a finals appearance is pretty surreal. I think I caught myself a couple of times looking up at stands at my parents who did the whole coin flip thing, and they can't help themselves. So anytime either one of us did something good, they both were clapping. So they gotta fix themselves, because I told my mom, like, who you with? When I made a shot, I saw her stand up and cheer, but I saw all Portland gear, and it's just weird. So it's probably more nerve-wracking for them in terms of just trying to get settled into what this series is going to mean.
Final one, third row center.
Yeah, Steph, Tony Harvey, Sacramento Observer. I think we did see both your parents cheer from both of you, but being out there on that court in that situation with Seth, did it kind of like bring back memories of, playing in the driveway again, going at it one-on-one with your brother?
It always takes you back there for sure. From the time I can remember in the backyard playing with each other 1 year in high school. I watched a lot of his games too, so